So I often get asked, Pat, how important is it on what I name my company? Or even how do I go about naming my business? So today's episode is to answer that question for you. But before we get into it, I want you to think about something here. Just as important it is on what you name your kid one day, or you already have, it's just as important what you name your company, because that's how people will see that company or the name for the rest of its life or career. How many kids did you have in school who hated their names? They didn't like their names, or they were called by a middle name. I had a sergeant in the Army, his last name was Hooker, Sergeant Hooker. He couldn't stand it, but he had his last name. So same exact thing goes with naming a business, because in the Bible, a lot of parents like to name their kids after the Bible, Paul, John, Luke, Mark, Matthew, Peter, but you don't hear Judas. No one's gonna name their kid Judas. First thing you do, go search Judas. Oh my gosh, this is Judas, that's your name? Or Adolf, you don't hear Adolf. Same goes with the name in your company. So let me give you 8 different examples. Number 1, you name your company after 2 words that make up your company's name. Valuetainment. It brings value combined with entertainment. Or Volkswagen. In German, I think it means average folks car, wagon, right? In 1934, the history of it is Hitler wanted a car for 2 adults and 3 kids. That's the Volkswagen. And he called it a car for masses. That's how that whole thing got started. You can go read about it online. Number 2, it's words that have no meaning. Twitter, you got Yahoo, you got Google. There's not a meaning to it, but it's catchy. People like it. Twitter worked, Yahoo worked, Google worked. There was a formula for Yahoo and Google, 2 O's that worked. We were used to it. Number 3, meaning in a different language. Verizon. We all know Verizon. Verizon came up with veritas, which in Latin means the truth, combined with horizon. The truth horizon becomes Verizon. It worked for them. Number 4. Crowdsourcing. Let me ask my following to see what they think about this name. Let me ask my family. Let me ask everybody on Facebook, what do you think about this name? The trouble with that could be that once you put it out there, what name you want to go with, I've seen this happen so many times. People say, I don't like this name, 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 I like this name. Then if you go with one, you already have an audience that don't like any of the name you went with. So it could backfire on you as well when you do that. Number 5, your name. Charles Schwab, okay, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Hilton, Sheraton, Hyatt, your name. But it's got to be important what name you go with at what time. Ray Kroc, in the movie Founder, said something very interesting. He said, why do you like the name McDonald's so much? He said, it's all American. It's welcoming. It's warm. He says, would you ever go to a restaurant called Croc's? No, but you would go to McDonald's. It worked. Look how self-aware he was to know that his name wouldn't have worked. So his ego didn't get in the way and said, I want my name to be it. He used McDonald's. 6, acronym. MBA, NBC, TLC, IBM. Acronyms works. A lot of people do it with 3 letters or 4. 7, explanatory. Lego. Lego was founded in Denmark. Lego has a meaning. Lego has a meaning of leg got, which means play well in Danish. Or in Latin, it means play together, right? There was a meaning of why they call it Lego. You like the name, I like the name, I love Lego. Till today, I make Legos with my kids. It makes you feel a certain way when you go with a name like that. I love the name Lego and what it means to us as people using it. Number 8, this is an interesting story here. Some of you have read the book Girl Boss, written by Sophia Amoruso, I believe. Prior to her writing that book that blew up and did very well, she started a clothing line, a vintage clothing line called Nasty Gal. What she didn't do before she started a company is she didn't research if anybody else owned that domain. So when she said, I'm announcing my company name is going to be Nasty Gal, everybody went to the website Nasty Gal. Ended up being a porn site. So kind of backfired on her. You got to do research a little bit before you name a company. She ended up buying the domain, I think, for $8,000. So do research before you name any company name you're going to pick. Now, things to avoid. Number 1, sensitivity. And sensitivity has to do with timing. Washington Redskins may have worked 60 years ago. It's not going to work today. A company, I think, based out of Michigan who sells coffee. When you think about coffee bean, that works. These guys decided to name their company Beaners. You don't name your company Beaners, okay? They have 72-something stores. They were, so many people complain about it. They ended up changing their company name from Beaners to Bixby because it's a sensitivity factor. They didn't even think about the fact that's offensive, but their audience did. Number 2, legal. Talk to your attorney. What do you think about this name? Is there anything like this out there? What do I have to look for? When we started Valuetainment, we knew there was a Valuetainment.com out of Germany. And we found that it has nothing to do with here, so we can go with starting a company called Valuetainment. Number 3, too long. Sometimes too long of a name makes too long of an email, makes too long of a website, makes too many opportunities for me to misspell when I'm typing the domain. There's just way too many opportunities there to screw up. So think about all those things there before you picking a name for your company. And if you got any questions, any thoughts, any comments, comment on the bottom. And if you have not subscribed to this channel here, be sure to click on this button here to subscribe and click on the alert button to be part of the notification squad. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.